Uh-oh. Hello. It's Kiki. Or Puda. High Priestess. Hierophant. All that stuff. Welcome to No Good Do Gooder. With the N-O and the K-N-O. Alright. Alright. What I thought about talking about today is energy work and clearing and anything like that. It is hard. Okay? I make a lot of stuff look easy, people say. But it is hard. Trust me when I say. It's something where you need to have like your undivided attention, focus, because I'm not just doing energy clearing for like my mind or my body, but the world, People can say all day, they're here to help the world. They want to be a positive influence on the world. And they want to give back to the world, all these things. And you can do that. But you know what helps this world out? Is for everyone to go to God, tap on his door, which is in your noggin, all right? And get into your purpose, because energy is everything, and everything is energy. And then the main thing is this: you have a job to do with God, and it will unlock your abundance with God. Okay? When you start to step into your purpose, you would need to vibrate high, because so the lower vibrational people can't pick you apart like they did me. And even though I was vibrating high, but because I wasn't in my purpose and I didn't know I was vibrating high, they could still, run some game on the system. So once, I understand some stuff like that. See, I'm still messing with this hair. Look at this. I'm gonna get a different kind the next time. But all that makes a difference. And every area that I needed to grow in, I had already did a lot of the hard work. And now it was like one of those things where, even though bad things were going on, it was time to co-create with the universe. You might be able to do something similar or different, or you might be tied to a different planet or star system, but you don't necessarily know until you tap into your God body. You know what I'm saying? Your God mind. And let's say you are like thinking like what's the word that you're a God, but you act like in that arrogance of a God. You know, no, you need to be like not arrogant about shit, just understanding. You know, it's not like on TV. That's what trips me out about people. You know, TV would tell you some things, but TV don't tell you everything. And it's like there's not anyone around you like fanning you with feathers or something. And you got a harem of women around you or men around you. And they're feeding you grapes and all this cockamamie shit. Okay. You know, that's the ego, the pride, and the arrogance in TV. Okay. So when you really step into your purpose, it's like, yo, you know, some real shit out there in the world that needs to be handled and dealt with. And God will tell you, like, hey, this is the part that this is your job. And if you haven't working in your purpose already, you're like, all right, cool. Work into some more. Or pump something out faster. You know, make certain changes faster. And but if you don't know, your connection to the world is like down in the dumps, which makes the world's area where you are down in the dumps too. It's a real thing. Like wherever you are, your energy is connected there. It's grounded there. It's stable there. And it might be stable in a let's see. I'm trying to figure out if this is my lashes or my eyelids. Cause see, it's like they look too different. But you're connected. And because you are, and you realize what you're connected to, God wants you to get on it and work on that area. Because it needs fixing. Like, everything in the world is energy. But because we are the smartest energy sources in the world on this planet, we are supposed to use our energy within to have it flow outward or upward, like, you know, to the universe. There's a certain thing that our bodies can do that help the world, clean the world, change the world, shatter different illusions, you know, just up people's frequency, you know, change the way things are looked at, no matter what it is. Even if your job is something simple like, hey, hold on tight. And, you know, God might say something like that. Hold on tight, because he did this to me at one point. You know, get off of social media. I'll let you know when to come back on. Or start reading this. I'll let you know when you elevate or whatever. Or it's something like, it's 2020, but you got to make it all the way through to 2024. And after that, it's like you take off. You know. So if you know something like that ahead of time, it could make you anxious or seem like a long ways away. You know, I don't think about that part. But it can also have you prepared. And see, God didn't really give me a time frame like, oh, another year or another this or another that. No. I'm going to tell you something. Okay. The way God told me about the type of folks that were over me and wanting dominance and control over me. Okay? Hear me out. Okay. He was saying it like it's a pimp. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what the fuck? A pimp? That means I'm doing something. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't having sex, not even with myself. So I'm like, oh shit, a fucking pimp? You know? And my innovative mind or crazy mind, okay? I said something along the lines of, so there's a pimp that's a god out this bitch. What? What you trying to say, God? They want some angel pussy. But God's response was like, yeah. And I'm like, you shut the fuck up, nigga. Hey, what the fuck? And then another like indication that God gave, he was like, all you gotta do, you go through these 3 men, and then bam, you get the right one. So I say to God, all right, Joe. So it ain't like I go to a tree, make a left, or the red house or the pink house on the right. No, I go through 3 different men, you know, and then bam, I'm at the one. And I was like, my second question was more on the lines of, so, are you pimping me out to these 3 men? Like, God, you really the motherfucking pimp, nigga? You pimping your daughter out, nigga? Like, what the fuck? He said, nah. He was just like, nah. What I'm saying is, you're going to meet these men along your journey. You just got to go with the flow. Now, when you going with the flow, and if you happen to get some dick along the way, I mean, you know, it's a part of the process. I said, huh. He said, well, you know, you can just be friends with them or more, but, you know, we already know you're close to the finish line, so to speak. And I'm thinking to myself, a fucking finish line. What the fuck? You know. But he said something like, oh, you're 3, that's nothing. compared to what the pimp god is doing. I'm like, oh fuck, the fuck, you know. And so I was like, in spirit, like, so what am I doing? I'm a spiritual hoe? How the fuck can you do that? How do I even know how to do that? How would I know if that is what the fuck you're saying? It's a whole lot of what the fuck moments. And then I had to remember something that God told me before all the crazy shit. Or a little bit of the crazy shit. He don't give me a whole lot, because they could like spill all the fucking details. But I be on some shit like, okay. Well, they just know sometimes when to cut it off. Okay, so one of the things that God said before was, the family is like yours, but they're the bad ones. And I'm like, okay. He was like, the duality of life, duality in a family. Duality is with everything. And so even when you are born, then there's your opposite of you that is born. But their extremes you don't understand, and your extremes they don't understand. I gotta get them to understand it. And I was like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this shit. Okay, you know. And they said, well, mother God was like, well, you know, in your previous life you was always, you know, very rich, very famous, and you always had a whole lot of things going on. You know, you was a famous author, you was a famous like musician, you were in the opera, it was like so many things. And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. That shit sound fucking awesome. What am I this time? I was like, am I just Kiasha? You know? What am I this time? And they left it to me to figure that out. And I was like, why? Why? You know. But when you look further into the things that God was saying to me, it's like automatically certain visions would give me the trap. You know what I'm saying? And he would tell me a lot of folks, they, you know, they congregate, and they sit around, they talk about me, and they on drugs. And I'm like, I'm thinking like a bonfire or something. You know, you could be in a trap house, like just, you know, going to town like that too. But I'm just saying the way I pictured it. And it made me look at other things, you know, not like it wasn't like it was just a male God. It was like a male and a female. You know, it was like tag team. You know, like that shit. But I did have a dream one time. And the dream was I would be in different eras in time. And I could tell by the color in the TV screen because it started like I was on a couch watching TV, but it was way back in the day, like black and white, when the TVs first came out. And in this small town, you know, and I go by this ice cream shop like every day. And I walk through the city. And I get this same ice cream. And I go to the same person to get it. But then the man that I am intrigued by is in the line. Or he says something to me about the ice cream I get. Or we already know each other and we're friends. And we walk away together with the ice cream, right? But each 3 times in a dream, it's the same person that I see in front of me, but it was different personalities and different eras in time that I came across the same person. And it would end like we were in love and together, and then we would be making love together. But then you know how you have a door that could flip over? Let's say if my back was on the door, and then you want to flip the door over. Like if I was on a dartboard, you know, hanging up on the thing, stuck to it, and then you can turn the door. So it's like a turn like that would happen, and I'm in a era in time, always going forward, not backwards, forward in time. The door turns back into a couch, and I'm watching TV. And now we have, you know, some color on the TV. Same scenario, you know, door flips again. TV color is more defined. And, you know, like we're past the VHS and all of that. And it was like, when I got here, the best thing that I can say, because one thing I left out was where I was on the couch watching TV. I was in a brownstone. The brownstone had 4 floors. The basement, floor 1, 2, 3. I started 3. Door flips, I'm on 2. But it's a different era in time on each level. And the blueprint and the brownstones are the same. It's like they got everything on each level. Okay. And so I flip through those 3 men and go down those 3 floors. And it's not like I go down steps to go through. It's like they flip that door, and then it's like I'm landing on a couch like that. Okay? And I remember about what guy was saying. These 3, and then, you know, 4th one, that's the one. And I said, the only thing that's left is the basement. There's usually nothing down in the basement. You know? What's down there? Pipes. for water, plumbing. And I said, what else is down there? Electricity box, your water heater, your old furniture that you don't have in the other part of the house. I've kind of forgotten about everything, and it's just down there collecting dust. You might got some power tools down there. You might go down there for a few things sometime, but it's not like you stay, But God pointed out that was kind of a negative view that I was putting out in the atmosphere about the basement. And I was looking at the basement like, what am I going to do with the basement? And God said, this is what they've done to our people. We're the foundation, brick by brick, mortar by mortar, keeping it up, keeping it sturdy, keeping it flowing, manageable, and just running. And I'm like, wow. And they say no one upstairs or on either of the floors understand the hard work that goes into having to maintain those 3 floors, just with the water and the electricity and the hot water alone, And I was like, wow, I didn't think of it like that. And where you're thinking you're at the last spot, you're really at the first spot. First thing built first, foundation. So those 3 men were representing foundations that were built. I was a part of it. Foundations that also were going to fall because it was built faulty by those other counterparts. And the 4th counterpart isn't actually number 4. He's actually number 1. Just like I could have thought I'm in the top 3 or the top 4, but I'm actually number 1, And God was like, you can still make the basement look like the rest of the house. Another thing God was saying, in the basement is where all the good stuff is at. All the memories, all the laughter and the joy, all the things that provided you with like structure, that made you, that made things around you flow, And so when the different people or families or eras in time that I was in, those people were crumbling and crippling my foundation until I fell down to the bottom. And they were comfortable that I was in the basement, because the way they looked at it is, that's where we hide everything that we don't want to see, handle, deal with, be bothered. And we wanted it to stay that way. So essentially within them, they locked me down there. And it was like three different viewpoints: mine, God's, and the other people. Excuse me. And so, what I chose to do was take God's approach, my approach, and their approach. You know? Enhance the features that are already there. And not only fix what was broken, even if it was a cracked foundation, you know, but to rebuild it, not just by filling in the crack or the holes or like fixing the basement floor. I wanted my personality in the basement. My personality is like, you know how they say you can talk to plants and it helps them to grow because it's like you're speaking life into the plants. And I said, well, I'm just going to be speaking life into my basement. And I'm going to redo my basement. And eventually, I'll redo each floor. You know, it's like whatever they use to destroy me, and I came crumbling, tumbling down. Now I'm going to remodel it, rebuild it, make it stronger, look better, to where it shows like my growth and not theirs. To let things like actually show God's growth along with me. And I envision this in my mind, and because of all the things God said, and I'm not even going to front, I did think or thought maybe a pimp would come out somewhere, but it didn't. And I was so confused because of what God had said after that, you know, which was the things I told y'all first. And it dawned on me, okay, whoever is doing that, they don't want to be seen. And they don't want to be known for that, but that's what they do. That's how I came to that, you know, because it's like when God tells you something, you know it has to fit somewhere in the puzzle. He won't tell it to you if it wasn't. Where in the puzzle? That's my job to figure that out. Who in the puzzle? Like that's the picture that's on the actual puzzle piece. And I put different pieces in different places, made sure they fit. And I just kept going. I kept going. Because also too, when I paid attention more to the dream, it was like, okay, obviously I'm self-sufficient, independent. I'm in a brownstone myself, okay? And, you know, I'm not a strange for a piece of change type lady. Because even in a dream, it's the same guy, you know? And I'm not saying I'm not promiscuous, but even in a dream I wasn't doing anything like promiscuous, you know. And that could mean a whole lot of shit. But I bet you know I got some form of pizzazz with my ass because all the sassy little shit I be talking. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. But I did say to myself, I got to get through this so I can relax, so I can enjoy some shit, so I can get my life back on track. And whoever that I'm supposed to be with can get the business. But, I felt like if I ain't tackling this goal because it was about my life, then I'm not doing myself no justice. And no matter if we waiting on someone else to give us justice, like we still gotta honor ourselves and give ourselves the justice that we need and that we're looking for. And I was just making sure I did that, to where like it wasn't gonna be a mistake, like everyone knows, like, okay, yeah, that's definitely her signature, her footprint, blueprint, whatever. Yeah, that's her. And that's what I did. But there are more things that I broke down, understood, and could put it into spots that God would give me clues about to like that. I just thought that was like super interesting, Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. That's just what I wanted to share. I'm trying not to be so long on these things because when I wasn't clearing out my phone, my shit was cutting off. So I'm about to just try to keep them a little bit shorter. Make sure I got some good info in them. And then we're going to keep things rolling. Okay? All right, folks. Have a great old, what's today? Tuesday. All righty. Later.